Sociology, Chapter 5, Change and Development in Industrial Society. Subtopics are industrialization in India, features of organized sector, social implications of organized sector, industrialization in early years in independent India, globalization and liberalization, how are jobs found, time slavery, working condition, house-based industries like BD industry, strikes and unions. Now, industrialization in the society in many ways similar to the Western model. In many ways, different comparative analysis of different countries suggest that there is no standard of model of industrial capitalism. In developed countries, the majority of people are in service sector, followed by industry, and less than 10% are in agriculture. In India in 1990-2000, 60% were employed in primary sector, agriculture and mining, 17% in secondary sector, manufacturing, construction and utilities, and 23% in the tertiary sector, trade, transport, financial services, etc. The contribution of these sectors to economic growth, the share of agriculture has declined sharply and services contribute approximately more than half. This is a very serious situation because it means that the sector where the maximum people are employed is not able to generate much income for them. Second point of difference is that number of people in regular salaried employed is very less. In developed countries, the majority are formally employed. In India, over 50% of the population is self-employed. Only about 14% are in regular salaries employment, while approximately 30% are casual laborer. Features of organized sector: 10 or more people are employed. 10 or more people are in. Rules and regulations are already set. Allowance, bonus, provident funds are social implication of unorganized sector. Better than. They do not have organized sector, they do not have any savings. When they retire, they get money from their kids. No security for old age dependent on children. No security for old age. There are laws for security of unorganized sector by the government not implemented. Minimum wage has been set but not given properly. No records on paper, they show it differently. They are on the mercy of the employer. In unorganized sector, the people cannot fight on ethical grounds. Social implication of organized sector: fixed rules and regulation. Mode of payment has to be transparent on both sides, employees and employer. There is a proper procedures to be followed by employer or vice versa. Employees cannot be removed from the job without prior notice. An employee cannot be removed until their retirement age in the government. There are a lot of perks, gratuity, bonus, provident fund, travel allowance. These are the benefits which one gets in organized sector. Now, industrialization in early years in independent India. Jute, iron, cotton, railway, coal prospered during the British rule and continued to prosper even after independence. The government was in control of public sector. India adopted mixed economy. Public sector controlled by government and private sector was managed by private businessmen. The government decided that some industries should be privatized like coal, jute. Now, India started having a mixed sector combination of public and private. But some sectors were not privatized: railway, defense, coal mines, telecom services. During the colonial rule, the port cities, only 3 cities were there, developed by the British: Calcutta, Mumbai and Chennai. Now, many other cities became very important: Coimbatore, Faridabad, Pune, Bengaluru, Ludhiana, Jalandhar, Ambala, etc. Government raised that many people were employed and have started small-scale industry, cottage industry, and the government began to support them. Jute bag, ports, corporates, organized sector. 70%. Around 30% is organized large-scale industries. Changes in Indian industries, globalization and liberalization. After 1990, when globalization came to India, a lot of changes and rules were introduced in the industry by World Trade Organization. Globalization is a interrelationship between local economy and global economy. And it involves all aspects of life, social, economic, cultural, political, ecological. Liberalization is the economic aspect of globalization. Removal of trade barriers, tariffs, taxes, international boundaries. It's easy to cross border people, commodities, capital, technology. With the coming of globalization, large and small multinational companies grew tremendously. The foreign companies started investing in India and began setting up branches. There is a lot of unemployment in large-scale industries. Wages are low as the small-scale industries want to attach themselves to large-scale industries. Outsourcing is mainly done by private sector, but some government sectors also outsource. Now, how are jobs found? In older days, it was from word of mouth, personal relationship, near and dear friends. Later, it moved to newspaper, magazines, ads. Nowadays, there are websites and HR requirements of major companies like MNCs. Employment exchange register your name and qualification, and they will call you whenever there is a job available. Contractors, very influential people, also known as mistries in small factories, towns, and even cities. They are workers in the factories. Many companies have also started outsourced security, gardening, catering, or outsource various parts of the product and may not be manufactured by the company. Advantage of outsourcing. Cost of production goes down, can concentrate on final product. No additional hurdles for trade unions. Do not want unions to be formed in different sectors. Disadvantage of the outsourcing. If the supplier do not supply products on time, it is up to the company to make lost time and make the workers work overtime. This is not done only for money but goodwill or reputation of company. The quality may not be up to the mark. One has to be constantly vigilant to involve that the quality is maintained. Time slavery. The concept of taylorism has been applied to the IT sector in which each person does his her work at a given time spent. Night out, the professional work the whole night, but this is not the same as overtime, but this is voluntary. Fixed time, there is no fixed time, but have to work for 8 hours. Can select their time slot working hours. There are 3 cities which are the hub of IT: Bengaluru, Silicon City, Hyderabad, High-Tech City, Gurgaon, Cyber City. To cater to the needs of the people, eating joint shops, hotels, etc. are open overnight, creating employment and cater to these people. 3 reasons for staying overnight: to finish work. If you are unable to finish your work, the other person will not be able to do their work. They do it to please the boss. Joint families are going up as both. Parents are working and they need to keep grandparents and children secure. The value system cannot be taught by the paid help. Working condition. In the same place, it wasn't good. Small factories, not hygienic, insecurity. Working condition in mines. In 1952, an act called the Mines Act was passed. The government said that owners of the mines had to follow certain acts rules. One regulation is that workers had to pay proper wages and each person should know the number of hours he is working in the mines. All safety rules have to be followed as lives are otherwise in danger. Applicable to every factory. Unfortunately, many small factories do not follow the rules that are laid down. Large factories have to follow rules as lot is at stake as they are in public eye. All people in the mines are not registered. Since they are not registered properly, in case something happens to them, their families cannot get compensation. If any worker is injured, no compensation is paid. There are 2 types of worker in mine: underground, inside the ground. Problems: fumes which if inhaled can cause serious problems. lung infections, tuberculosis, collapsing of wall and roofs, lack of ventilation, aging fast, poor eyesight, on the ground problems. Dig up the mines and do not up the pits before moving to another site so other workers can fail and injure themselves. They are exposed to weather conditions, sun and rain, and result in skin diseases. Sometimes they used to blast the ground, and if precautions are not taken, people can get seriously injured or die. Working condition, unhygienic condition, long working hours, fear of insecurity, living conditions are poor. Women who work are paid less, no respect for them, no time for their family, life is very tough. So women are becoming independent and self-aware, getting educated, taking their own decisions, are quite self-sufficient. House-based industries. Many house-based industries are there in India. It is not as rosy as it looks. Most of them are in unorganized sector. Carpets, borders, cherries, mat boxes, bags, BDs are some of the examples. Mainly done by women and children, paid by single piece, dozen box, etc., depending on the products. Now, BD industry, tendu leaves in which the BD is made. Tendu leaves are collected and are soaked, and the women and children make the BDs and sell it to back to the contractors. The leaves are collected by the workers of private owners and government officials and are handed over to forest officials who auction the leaves to private owners. These private owners employ contractors who go to the village and hand over the tendu leaves to the women and children. Contractors collect the BDs and the women and children are paid meagerly. These bundles go back to factories. In factories, the signature level and scent is added. It is given to the distributor who give it to wholesale market to shopkeeper who sell it to us. Now, strikes and union. Strike is a situation where workers restrain from work because they want better wages. It is very risky proposition for the workers as the employee may not take them back after the strike. Lockout is when the management closes down these factories or industry for some time. This may be due to bankruptcy, case pending on the factory, selling it off, exchange of hands. In a lockout, unless strike, the management has to pay compensation or take back the employees. Union is an association formed to protect the interest of the factory workers. TAI, Textile Association of India, by Gandhiji was the first trade association. That's all.